the blind woman who taught her guide dog to see for her. Elena stood frozen at the edge of the crosswalk, her white cane tapping uselessly against the curb. The world around her was a blur of sound. Honking cars, hurried footsteps, voices she couldn't place. Her heart pounded in her chest. The traffic light had changed, but something felt wrong. She could sense it, danger just beyond reach, unseen and unknowable. And then, without a word, Samson moved. The golden retriever pressed against her leg, blocking her path, his body rigid, alert. A moment later, a cyclist blew through the red light, missing them by inches. Elena gasped, her fingers tightening on Samson's harness. He hadn't just obeyed a command, he'd made a choice. That was the moment she knew. Samson wasn't just guiding her through the world. He was seeing it for her. Elena Martin was 26 when the last traces of light disappeared from her world. It happened gradually, like the fading of a sunset that never returns. First, the dimming of streetlights at dusk, then the soft blur of familiar faces, until even her own reflection vanished. A rare degenerative eye condition, merciless and incurable, claimed her sight. She remembered the last thing she truly saw, her mother's hands braiding her hair as they sat by the window one autumn morning, the sun filtering through golden leaves. A moment she held like a photograph in her heart. The months that followed were full of silence and sorrow. There were sounds, yes, the hum of the fridge, the shuffle of shoes on pavement, but none seemed to mean anything without the context of sight. She felt like a ghost in her own life. People spoke kindly but with pity. The cane she was taught to use felt cold and clinical. She learned to memorize steps, count turns, recite directions, but the world no longer belonged to her. That changed the day she met Samson. He was brought into the room during her final week of orientation training for guide dogs. A 2-year-old golden retriever with a honey-colored coat and eyes full of warmth. Elena couldn't see him, but the moment his head pressed against her palm, she felt something shift inside her. A presence. A heartbeat. Not just a dog, a companion. Their training together was supposed to follow a strict curriculum. Commands like forward, halt, left, right. Samson learned quickly, but Elena noticed something unusual. Samson didn't just obey. He listened. He responded not only to her words, but to the subtle tension in her hands, the change in her breath, the quiet emotion in her voice. The first time she realized it was something more was during a walk downtown. A construction site had rerouted the sidewalk without warning. The cane was useless in the chaos of cones and debris. She froze. Her heart raced. "Samson," she whispered, trembling. "I don't know where to go." He didn't wait for a command. He gently tugged her hand, guiding her in a wide arc around the noise and back to safety. Elena cried when they got home, not out of fear, but wonder. From that moment on, she spoke to him differently, not as a handler to a service animal, but as one soul reaching for another. "Sam," she would say softly in the morning, brushing his fur. "What's the sky like today? Can you feel the sun?" When they passed the bakery on 8th, she'd murmur, "Does it still smell like cinnamon rolls?" And he'd wag his tail, nudging her forward. She began to test him, not as a challenge, but as an invitation. "Sam, I dropped my phone somewhere near here. Can you find it?" He would sniff, circle, pause, then place a gentle paw on the object. "Sam, we haven't taken the park route in weeks. Want to try?" He led her, always safely, sometimes even stopping to let her feel the bark of a tree or the cool metal of a fountain she used to photograph. One night during a storm, the power went out. Elena, already surrounded by darkness, felt a panic rise, sharp, irrational, full of old fear. But Samson was there. He climbed onto the bed beside her, placing his head on her chest. His heartbeat was steady, strong. She held him like a lifeline. "Thank you," she whispered, stroking his ears. "You're my eyes. But more than that, you're my peace." As the years passed, their connection grew more extraordinary. People noticed. Strangers would pause on sidewalks, amazed at how he maneuvered her around uneven tiles or steered her away from a fast-approaching jogger. "He watches the world for you," a man once said. Elena smiled. "He sees more than I ever did." When she started mentoring others who were newly blind, she told them about Samson. "I didn't just teach him commands," she said. "I taught him trust. And he taught me to trust the world again." As Samson aged, his muzzle turned gray, his steps slowed. But he never lost his spirit. He still listened to her like her voice was the only sound that mattered. When the day came that she brought home Leo, a wide-eyed Labrador pup meant to be her next guide, it was Samson who taught him the ways no book ever could. She would hear them at night, Leo mimicking Samson's quiet steps, Samson leading him gently to her bedside. Elena often sat in the garden they discovered together, her fingers tracing the petals of flowers, her face lifted toward the sun she couldn't see. "Sam," she would whisper, "I remember colors because of you." In time, Samson passed quietly in his sleep, curled at her feet. She buried him beneath the willow tree in that garden, placing a smooth stone above the earth. On it, in raised braille and carved letters, it read, "He saw the world for me." And in teaching Samson to see, Elena had found a vision more profound than sight, the kind that lives in faith, connection, and the unbreakable bond between two hearts that found each other in the dark and lit the way forward together. Years later, as Elena sat beneath the old willow tree, Leo dozing by her side, she traced the engraved letters on the smooth stone marking Samson's resting place. She smiled softly, not with sorrow, but with gratitude. Samson had taught her far more than how to navigate a world she could no longer see. He had taught her to trust without fear, to speak without words, to listen with the heart. He showed her that true vision isn't about sight. It's about connection, intuition, and love that moves without needing to be led. Life will always hold uncertainty, she realized. Moments when the path is unclear and the future is hidden in shadow. But if you walk forward with faith, if you let your heart stay open, something or someone will be there to guide you. Sometimes it's not about seeing everything. Sometimes it's about believing that you're not walking alone. And that, Elena knew now, was the clearest vision of all. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with someone who needs a little hope today, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories that celebrate the power of love, trust, and the unbreakable bonds that guide us through life. Your support helps us keep telling stories that matter. So join our community, and let's walk this journey together.